Do you want to wait? We got 2 minutes.
We got 2 minutes.
We can introduce the panels in 2 minutes. We can introduce ourselves now.
That works.
So, yeah, I'm Dan. I edited at Wikitroid for several years at the League Contributor while I was there. I backed up a lot of information that would have been lost otherwise, like art and bios from the old Flash websites that aren't in existence anymore. I invented
His house is literally the Nintendo Museum.
Yeah, I collect a lot. I invented these pixelated costumes in 2010. Most of them are from Metroid. You might have seen them at various East Coast cons on Reddit or videos. Right now, my Spider-Man is showing before that movie. They made it an actual official Spider-Man costume.
And he's technically canon now.
Yeah. It was published in a couple Nintendo publications going back to Nintendo Power. You can start on the Cassian.
Hi guys, I'm Cass. This is my first panel. I'm terrible at public speaking. I am a newer Metroid cosplayer. This is actually my 2-year cosplay anniversary as Samus here at MAGFest, which is where I met Dan and Jen and the contingent of Metroid people. So yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm back on TikTok. So hopefully we'll be making some TikToks this weekend. So.
And she's also part of the Metroid cosplay community. It's something I started a couple years ago, and we meet up and we talk shop on Facebook. We make collaboration videos and do all kinds of other fun stuff.
I'm Carl. I am a editor for the Metroid database. I mostly post things to the Facebook page. I've been doing that for about like six months now, maybe.
Since last year.
It's been a whole year?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, it is 2022 now.
Oh no. That's if anybody knows me, that's probably what it would be from.
I'm Nikki. I'm also a new panelist. Technically been cosplaying Samus for some years now. Met this guy by running into him several times at different cons and then talking to him, especially after this same panel. And now I'm in it.
Cool. My name is Ryan Barrett. I run the biggest Metroid fan website in the world called the Metroid Database. We've been running for 25 years. So, yes, that is my credit.
I think this is the first time we've had like a big Metroid cosplay, Metroid database collaboration kind of thing.
Yeah, I had one panel. I had another Metroid database, or it was just a Metroid panel. It had Metroid Metal members in it, and that was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, very excited to be here. So everyone, I just threw down shit tons of stickers. Those are all free, and they're all for you. So if anybody wants to come up at any time, we won't be offended. If you have to leave, so
this one bites.
It's all down here, right down there. You can come up anytime. They are all for you. We are also going to have some quiz questions to test your Metroid knowledge, and I have these exclusive Metroid database pins, high jump boots pins. You can't get them anywhere else but here at this panel. So very, very exciting times. But yes, these are all for you guys, all for you. So enjoy. Hope you enjoy that.
Just leave one for me.
No, there's plenty. There's plenty. They can't take them all. I won't let them.
All right, so this panel's pretty dense, but I think even if you're a huge Metroid fan, you'll probably learn something. How's the sound, by the way? Everything good in the back?
Good.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, feel free to raise your hand during the panel if you want to chime in. We'll try to incorporate as much as we can, but there's a lot of content in here. This is a snapshot of female characters in gaming leading up to the year 1986 when Metroid released on the Famicom in Japan. And of these ladies, there's only one human player-controlled heroine who has had regular starring roles in new games in every console generation from then up to this day. Even during the 2 Metroid droughts, which eclipsed the N64 and Wii U, Samus Aran starred on the cover of Super Smash Bros. And this image only includes characters who originated in gaming, so we don't have characters like Ellen Ripley in the 1984 Alien game. Yeah. So I'd like to share with you guys a character study on Samus and Ridley and the most iconic characters of Metroid and how their relationship and lore has changed over time. What's changed? What about their portrayal has stayed consistent? There's a lot of discussion in the Metroid community about whether fans want Samus to have more character or less character, and about Ridley's role in the series. Some want to learn more about Samus's past and what makes her tick. Some want her to continue to have mysterious origins and be a silent Boba Fett-style character. Some want Ridley to have as large of a presence in the games as he does in the expanded content. And some people want him to be a recurring boss, and some people think give someone else a chance. This panel isn't so much about any of that, but we're trying not to go into opinions, but we're just trying to dive into the facts of the development of one of the most important characters in the history of gaming and her nemesis. We're also trying not to go into series lore a lot, but a lot of it's going to be necessary. So, Metroid's backstory. You're kind of left to fill in the blanks as you journey through with Samus through Zebes and out the other side. Metroid came out in '86 for Japan, '87 for us. The game's manual gives you the most backstory, where it describes Samus as,
"The space hunter chosen for this mission is Samus Aran. He is the greatest of all the space hunters and has successfully completed numerous missions that everybody thought were absolutely impossible. He is a cyborg. His entire body has been surgically strengthened with robotics, giving him superpowers. Even the space pirates fear his spacesuit, which can absorb any enemy's power. But his true form is shrouded in mystery."
Please tell me somebody was recording that.
It's my understanding that the Japanese manual has ambiguous gender pronouns.
Oh, I'm gonna do a quiz.
We don't know why the Western localizations of the manual decided to do that, whether they were completely unaware or what, but somehow that slipped through. Ridley's also present in Metroid from the very beginning. He's an ungendered creature in the English manual. He's got the xenomorph and amphibian features in his character. In Metroid, Samus explores the planet's caverns, fighting enemies and bosses like Ridley here, collects new abilities like the Morph Ball transformation, which gets you into all the doggy doors of Zebes. This unconventional key sort of unlocks new routes of exploration into the vampire jellyfish climax of the game. In an area below Norfair, Ridley is designated the head of Mini-Boss Hideout 2, and the game requires his defeat along with Kraid before a bridge to the final area appears beneath statues of them in Upper Brinstar.
An interesting note about his early lore, later translations have revealed that he was supposed to just be a native creature of Zebes that was under Mother Brain's control.
Yeah, so. I think that was the updated translation in the Virtual Console. And the game ends with light music and a chance of an identity reveal depending on your gameplay time. The surprise that Samus had been a woman by the end of the game was decided late in development by an unknown Nintendo employee. Metroid itself was inspired by the Alien movies, but it's similarly unknown if Ripley's character helped influence this late change. Justin Bailey is the fan term for this particular outfit based on a popular password that Nintendo has even mentioned on occasion. Different hair colors depending on which suit upgrade you had and whether or not you had missiles switched on. Players today most fondly remember her with the striking green hair, even though you would begin and end the game as a brunette, testament to the popularity of the password.
Fun fact, you can play the game starting out with the brown hair.
Really?
Yes, you can.
What?
It's 0000000.
Isn't that the...
0000020 000000020.
Yeah, that's how it starts out when you do it the normal way without putting in a password by doing
It doesn't
the
give
New
you all
Game
the
Plus.
Justin Bailey goodies.
Yeah. We had some funky Japanese stuff going on. Zebes Invasion Order. I think the next Metroid panel is going to be talking about this a little bit. Samus and Ridley look totally rad for the first time ever. Ridley kind of reminds me of the X-invested Chozo and Dread with these crazy teeth in that.
Exclusive translation on the Metroid
Oh yeah,
database.
that was a big Metroid database project, along with a lot of the content in here, a lot of the translation projects,
play the
and
whole game.
a lot of the scans in here, by the way, too. Samus wasn't on the N team on Captain N because the TV writer had never heard of her. However, the N team was antagonized, most popularly by Mother Brain, as well as Ridley, Kraid, and all sorts of minor Metroid enemies.
Look, it just means that she's not tainted by it.
Yeah. She almost was. Somebody at Deke had heard of Samus, discovered this concept art a few years back for a Metroid series, and yeah.
I'm really glad you didn't show me this until now.
It's pretty hard to look at.
Samus is a guy.
Yeah,
We all knew it
and,
all along.
Got Mega Man 1 box art vibes.
But don't worry. Japan was also part of this issue. Some folks on the Japanese side of the official media production presumably weren't also aware that Samus was a woman. This is from Victory Techniques for Metroid. The authors may not have been victorious enough to learn Samus's identity. The combination comedy manga strategy guide has Samus creating a promotional video of herself where she's being fawned over by women models.
I mean, yeah.
So the Metroid community now likes to point out that she's become an accidental lesbian icon.
Yeah.
Why not?
The Valiant Comics version of Captain N, Samus does get to join the N team. She's more of a wild card and a space loner. She's considered the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, in it for the money and reputation. But at the end of the day, she's still a good guy with a soft spot for doing the right thing. That's not quite who Nintendo's Samus is as we get further in the years. Ridley and Kraid also looking more like their concept art in this. Why bring this weird comic up? There's some character elements that debut here, including, there were several hair colors in the game, but this one sticks with blonde. There's something that looks very similar to the Zero suit in her origin story. And most importantly, she's described as being from the Federation Police, the best and youngest, and left for mysterious reasons.
Question.
That previous slide,
Yeah?
bottom left corner, that's the thing I was talking about. See, he's got long hands.
Long hands?
Pants.
Oh, pants.
Bottom left corner.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that costume
She's
before.
graduating.
Oh, wow. I'll have to look at that again later. I'd never even noticed that one.
Nearly bell bottoms.
Metroid 2, not much to learn about Samus in the manual. It recounts the plot of the first game. Galactic Federation deems the remaining Metroids a security threat. They lose a research ship, a rescue ship, and finally a special combat group before they call in the big gun Samus. She goes on a xenocide spree against the new forms of Metroids that she discovers, kills the queen, but in one of the best bits of storytelling you find on the Game Boy, a Metroid egg hatches in front of her, and she can't bring herself to kill the final newborn.
The baby.
So you understand it while you're playing, and you feel the burden fall from your shoulders when the little guy starts following you around like a little lost hover puppy. And you just ended its species and its mother seconds ago, but the baby you have orphaned has adopted you as a parent. The decision sets up a plot for what the devs assumed would be the final act on the trilogy on Super Nintendo, but as the series didn't end with Super Metroid, Samus's choice continues to reverberate through many more storylines. We're introduced to Samus's now iconic starship for the first time in a game. Her armor's redesigned for grayscale or greenscale, 1991 Game Boy here. The Varia suit, which used to be a color swap, now has big pauldrons on her shoulder, since we don't get color. Up to Super Metroid. We learn in Super Metroid that Samus forfeits the last Metroid to the Space Science Academy on the Ceres station. There's an emergency, of course there is, and when the game begins, everyone is dead and the ultimate biological weapon is MIA. You run into Ridley, looks way cooler than he did back in that first game, and he takes off with the Metroid larva back to Zebes, so of course you follow. Going along with his appearance glow-up, Ridley's hyped the heck up in the game. He's on the cover, and now we know what Ridley's theme. We have Ridley's theme for the first time in a game, as opposed to the generic boss sequence or themes. Samus based on Kim Basinger, who would have been known to audiences at the time as having recently starred in Tim Burton's Batman as Vicky Vale. What's that? Oh, yeah.
We don't talk about that.
The sparse story beats after Planetfall are sort of shown instead of told, which is something that a lot of the Metroid fans really love about Super Metroid. Samus discovers a Metroid breeding program that resulted from the infant's abduction, which leads her to the final battle in a reconstructed Torian from the first game. Ridley's area now has this new iconic Lower Norfair theme. Entrance to his hideout has the head of big statue of his head. Yeah, Ridley's very egotistical. He builds that robot that looks like himself later on. And
How do you know it wasn't the space pirates building it in his honor?
wasn't there something that said that?
I mean,
wasn't an interview or something that said that Ridley built the robot?
He's the big cheese, so they do whatever he says.
Yeah. What's that? They do. They have vapor for brains. Yeah, he's noted as the space pirate leader now. The game's got a really powerful ending that I think shook a lot of players. The infant Metroid recognizes Samus after feeding on her and then sacrifices itself to save her in the final battle against the resurrected Mother Brain, culminating in the entire planet Zebes going Death Star in this third act. I think you may have heard in interviews with George Lucas where he discusses that he has intended story elements and characters from Star Wars to repeat or iterate in new ways like a poem. And I think the Metroid series sort of uses Star Wars as one of its inspirations too, along with Alien. And this poetry of actions is something that regularly occurs in the life of Samus too.
What? The fight rules. You're just bad at it.
This scan from Metroid database was recently translated by Sky of Skylearn's Slangs on YouTube and is, to my knowledge, the first detailed description of Samus's origin story. The book's called Nintendo Official Guidebook for Super Metroid and was published alongside the game, as far as I know. I think it beat out the Nintendo Power comic telling of her origin story by a couple months. It's the first mention of Chairman Keaton, her Chozo upbringing, the K2L pirate attack survival. The fact that the Chozo gave her the power suit. They say without her power suit, she has the appearance of an innocent girl, emerald eyes, a sense of independence, no one else to rely on. She has a lonely existence. It talks about Samus becoming the mother of the Metroid. And in this one, you actually see Samus's signature. There's a close-up of it.
Huh.
And the Super Metroid comic, published monthly in Nintendo by Nintendo Power over the course of 5 months, which claims that they based her look in this off of Ripley and Leia, according to the magazine. She's got purple hair for reasons that we can only speculate, and a personality that still doesn't quite match with what comes later, but she does push others away and identifies as a loner. Again, why are we doing this comic? There's lots of new characters, like Armstrong Houston, who's never mentioned again, but there are also lots of characters who do.
He's not canon. He's not canon. Don't worry about it.
There's opinions about Armstrong
Never
Houston.
happened.
Strong Metroid database Armstrong Houston opinions. We got Chief Hardy appearing and Chairman Keaton, Old Bird. Ridley's a talker in this, which never happens in the games yet.
It's not canon.
Ridley ultimately bails on the losing team at the end. He has a side plan that involves capturing Hardy and Keaton. We see the Chozo DNA tank for the first time. The suit is described with a major organic component and is linked to her emotional focus. It only protects her, the comic states, when she isn't distracted. It's an extension of her physical form. When it is damaged, she is damaged. The comic and the Japanese commercial for the first time make it clear that the suit actually materializes onto her like a Power Ranger by what we can only assume is crazy Chozo techno magic.
Nanobots. It's nanobots.
Nanobots, yeah.
Nanomachine, son.
Yeah, they're housed in her arc reactor. So, for the first time, America is introduced to her secret origins with K2L and Samus's parents. At this point, Ridley is not mentioned as being involved with the raid on K2L, but only that it was done by the Space Pirates in general. Samus stars, of course, in Super Smash Bros. On N64. We get a little glimpse of her face and blonde hair in the visor at the ending image. Super Smash Bros. Melee on GameCube. The trophy bio states, this intergalactic bounty hunter's full name is Samus Aran. Clad in a power suit made by the Chozo race and infused with their enhanced blood, she cleared the planet Zebus of a Metroid infestation. Samus is an orphan, the sole survivor of a space pirate raid that destroyed the Earth colony named K2L. Along with appearing in the title sequence referencing the beginning of Super Metroid, Ridley also has a trophy in the game. He's still not given any credit for the K2L attack, but all of these plot elements are appearing in a video game for the first time in these Super Smash Bros. Games. They've never been mentioned in a Metroid game yet. And yeah, we got a picture of a secret trophy that you can only get by certain means in Super Smash Bros.
Game
Melee.
Shark.
Yeah, Game Shark. And here we have the end of the first Metroid drought. Yeah, there's going to be more. Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime actually released on the same day in 2002. Yeah. As a consequence of killing the Metroids on planet SR388, Samus opened Pandora's box. The X-parasites, which the Chozo intended to keep at bay, were able to overtake the planet again. The X kill their hosts and replicate them instinctively. Our girl is infected while securing a research mission, passes out at the wheel on her way to the research station, BSL, crashes her ship, which jettisons her out of the convenient ejector seat. The researchers have to amputate the infected portions of her suit. It's biologically attached to attempt to revive her, but it's too little too late. We learned that there's still a sample of the baby Metroid DNA in the hands of the Federation HQ scientists as they work out how to transgenically combine the X's natural predator into her system to allow her to fight the infection. This alters her suit's appearance. For those of you keeping track, she's now inherited DNA from both Chozo and Metroid.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's getting weird. What's that? Yeah.
Samus is Metroid now.
Samus
She
is
is.
Metroid. The last Metroid.
Spoilers.
She's also got grill DNA. Yes. Grill. Samus reflects on the baby and how it saved her life once again. But guess what? Her old suit with all of its upgrades begins attacking the station under the control of the X-parasite within it. Samus is leased a shiny new ship with an AI under the condition that she follow its command on their mission to recover the assaulted biological research station. She finds that the X have multiplied and infected all of the flora and fauna in the lab, and now the hunter has become the hunted. Samus calls the computer Adam after the name of a departed friend and superior officer who had died and had similar mannerisms to her new talking light bulb. It's totally unexplained, but Ridley's in cold storage on this ship. Very suspicious. The Space Dragonsicle gets a freaky clone too because we don't want to leave anybody out of the body snatching. His screech breaks the eardrums of Game Boy Advance players around the world. Samus finds a Metroid breeding program on the ship and unintentionally eradicates them with the help of the SAX. One escapes, mutates in the SR388 replica environment, bringing Samus to her knees. But one of the SAX, yes, it's been multiplying, swoops in to attack and fails. Very reminiscent of the Super Metroid ending. Samus reabsorbs her old abilities and gets out of there before dropping the nuclear-armed vessel onto the planet to make sure that everything is dead.
Or
Turns
so
out
you
that-
thought.
Which always goes so well.
Just nuke it. It turns out
Kill it
that
with fire.
It's not enough.
It turns out that her computer was Adam's actual mind all along, downloaded before he passed away. They work.
Military mom.
Is that
Perfect
like is that
military.
a new term for mind blown?
Yeah, mind blown. No, the ending of Super Metroid is mind blown. They work out that there's a rogue faction of the Federation trying to use all these crazy aliens as bioweapons, and the game ends with the admission that Samus is likely a wanted criminal for interfering in that plot.
Yeah.
But then no one cares.
Yeah, and then we.
Yeah, that
Metroid
never
Dread,
gets,
what
that never
happens?
gets addressed in the next
What
game.
happened?
Yeah, Nintendo forgot it.
Yeah.
It was
it's
20 years.
Adam tells her one of
was
them will
20 years?
understand, one of them must. Fusion's ending takes a step closer to the modern appearance of the suitless Samus, but she's still slightly off model from it, or very off model in the case of that one particular ending image to the right with the jorts.
Yeah.
That's Japan only.
Yeah, that's
We didn't
Japan
get that
only.
ending.
The Japanese version had additional easy and hard modes with new ending artwork.
Ignore that. That's not canon.
It's not canon if it's not in America.
No.
Just like Kirby not being angry on the covers
That's
of
right.
games.
That's right.
The artwork introduces the game series, some of the characters and plot from the comic. They show young Samus being protected by her parents and from the pirates and Ridley. Her being discovered by the Chozo and raised and trained by a young old bird. And there's no question that it's him because he's got his signature cane from the comic.
Yeah, so this is the first time there's ever like any hint about Ridley being involved with the attack that orphaned Samus, directly attacking her, and her mother sacrificing herself in order to protect Samus, and Ridley being implied to kill. This is the first mention of it,
Yeah.
and
a
we
game.
don't get it in America.
No,
No, we didn't even get him.
It's so weird that Nintendo's like rolling out like bits of this plot to Japan and then to America and then to Japan again. It's like, it's no surprise that like most of the Metroid fans didn't understand the backstory when by the time Other M came out and
Or the manga
everyone
never
was just,
even
like,
came
using
out
it.
here.
Plan.
yeah, it's the weirdest thing
We
in the
didn't get the
series.
manga.
What's the plan?
Don't ask Metroid team.
I mean, it's like how we ended up with 3 timelines in Zelda.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. So Metroid Prime also released in the same day. Samus's character doesn't change much in the Prime series. That's kind of the point, is it's a spin-off. The main series shows the stories that are personal to her, and Prime sort of stays out of the way, filling in the gaps of what happens in between to show her heroics. The battle against corruption here is a symbol of her character archetype. In the game, we have Ridley and the Chozo civilizations, mostly functioning as callbacks, although very omnipresent throughout it. But these locations are less personal than Zebes and SR388 and the story threads that permeate from her origin. Retro does this as to not step on the toes of the main series with their spin-off. In fact, they are all set before the Metroid Extermination in number 2, just so that Retro could play with the actual Metroids without having to de-extinct them, which was, I think, a smart choice. There's references in the game to the hatchling or newborn, young Samus in the Chozo lore, who is being raised on nearby Zebes, where they speculate that if she is the foreseen defender that they have viewed in their future sight. They say in-game that they raised her from the time that they found her on a savage planet. K2L from the comic is referenced explicitly in the manual. And the accursed hunter, adult Samus, is referenced in the Space Pirate logs, recapping and reinforcing the damage that she's done to their designs.
And it's really funny.
It's one of the highlights of the game.
My favorite parts of that game is in the Space Pirate logs when they mention how they're trying to recreate her morphology.
If they ever make a Metroid movie, like that needs to be a thing.
Or how about that they can't find her ship?
Yeah.
Even though like one room over, they're like doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one or two rooms
right
over.
there.
I think there is a mention of cloaking or something.
I like to imagine
Yeah.
there's a cloaking.
Yeah. It's evidently it's not cloaking against visible light, but
I just saw the meme recently. It's like Samus's morph ball. What's even going on in there?
We'll never know, and I
Turns
don't
into
want
light.
I don't
Turns
wanna
into a
know.
ball of energy.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Pokemon, I think.
yeah,
A big ball of energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if you were able to see in there, some Lovecraft stuff would happen in your head.
Physics does not apply here.
So Samus has lots of fancy lights on her suit now. Up until this game, there only used to be the one on her hand, plus the green visor with a green chevron on her breastplate for the unupgraded power suit. But now they're all over the suit.
Now cosplayers have to add way
yeah.
more LEDs.
Yeah, Jen. Ooh, Jen.
Yay.
Jen's gonna be freaking Varia suit on Saturday. Look at her sling it down into her chair like she's cool. Oh yeah. We're gonna have a couple armored Samuses. Melville and Ginger's got the dread suit coming on Saturday to the Nintendo photo shoot.
I just have the scary shoes.
Oh yeah, she's got the light up shoes. Ridley, now Meta Ridley, however, has undergone quite the change. After being defeated during the events of Metroid 1, Ridley's body was recovered and brought back to life with cybernetic enhancements.
And it's rad.
It's so rad. They married an awesome first four figure out of him, and I love it.
Put the unboxing for that.
Yeah. So maybe some of you guys have heard the story from when Miyamoto was asking Retro Studios this question: what if Samus had bug eyes? And the designers at Retro Studio were totally baffled until they figured out that he meant altered perspectives. And then when they went about inventing the visor system for the game. And when I was coming up with this panel, just before, I'd ran into this interview with a French website called Le Monde, and Nintendo at some point approached Studio Ghibli's Hayao Miyazaki, and he was contacted through Shigesato Itoi, the creator of Earthbound, and Miyazaki began work on a game that takes place in a world of insects, and the concept was that the player could see in the world with the eyes of a bug. Miyazaki ended up being too busy to see the game through, and I sort of made this connection that maybe Miyamoto might have picked up that idea off of Miyazaki. It's a weird connection. No way to confirm that story, but this is my own little personal conspiracy theory. Retro Studios' interpretation of Samus's head in this game still they're sort of doing their own thing. Nintendo hasn't finalized the character model for Samus yet that they end up using later. We got the first appearance of Dark Samus because she can never have enough doppelgangers. The Metroid manga came out in Japan only. Regardless,
Translated by the Metroid database.
Translated by the Metroid database. Oh, they put together they also put together this the e-manga with all the color, getting all the bits of that off of the website that Nintendo had originally hosted on and formatting it in the original comic format. And we have, even though it's Japan only, we have plot and characters, namely Old Bird, Chairman Keaton, and Chief Hardy, migrating from the US released Nintendo Power comic. Everyone's all getting little pieces of the story around the world. The series and character of Samus have traditionally had consistency issues, but it wasn't really until this manga in 2002 that they really settled on a permanent character design, compared to Mario, who basically receives his modern design in '96 with Mario 64. There's a lot more character portrayal here than we ever got before. The prologue shows Samus wrestling with her dual identity, like many of the best superhero stories. Chapter 1 gives us the most detailed telling of her origin story on K2L, the loss of her parents and civilization, the first meeting with Old Bird and the other Chozo, as well as her pet, Pianchi, that is never used again outside of the manga. Little 3-year-old Sammy is afraid of the alien Chozo when they show up on K2L, but she's encouraged by her father to get past Old Bird's appearance and asks her to try to befriend him. She also unfortunately meets Ridley and the space pirates on this day. Sam tries the making friends routine again, but no such luck, kiddo. Chapter 2 is another big one. She's brought to Zebes and meets the creepy Mother Brain, who the Chozo made to be their planet's Alexa. In a scene from the US Super Metroid comic, they add some Chozo to Samus's genetic makeup so that she can survive on the planet, which enhances her abilities. They train her in a power suit through her preteens, and we learn that Samus has a strong moral view against the death of innocent life, even at the risk of a larger evil. This is established as a big repeating theme in the entire series. In retrospect, you could work out that saving the last Metroid after exterminating the species was a result of Samus's reflection on her being the sole survivor at K2L. She and the baby were the last children of the Chozo after all. In this image, you can see her wrestling with the idea that the Chozo would need to give a kill order to their worker robots in order to protect their civilization. Jumping ahead in the manga, Samus is in the Galactic Federation Police, and for some reason doesn't seem to have developed any social skills during her formative years spent living with old infertile alien bird people after witnessing everyone that she knew be maimed and incinerated at the age of 3. What's up with that?
I wonder why.
During a sting operation to free human slaves from space pirates, she flies off the handle about how slow the operation is, while the pirates are killing more innocents. Our girl jumps the gun and rushes in to save young Damara, who the pirates are about to kill for entertainment. This breach in command gets her in trouble with her superiors, but Samus is too disgusted by the situation to be concerned. During the interrogation of the captured pirate leader, they realize that this was a distraction for the pirates to attack Zebes. Samus rushes to go AWOL and saves her adopted family. Commander Adam Malkovich returns to stop her, but allows her a short window to act before they begin their assault on the planet. On Zebes, Samus finds some Chozo managed to flee while others were captured or killed. Grey Voice and Mother Brain have teamed up with the pirates as their new command. While confronted again with Ridley, Samus finds herself powerless to stop him, and it's revealed that Samus suffers PTSD from the assault by him on her first home. This plot eventually leads to a time skip where she's abandoned the Federation to act as a bounty hunter and leads into a retelling of the first game. She says, when we had to run from Zebes and defeat the space pirates alone, I defended what was to be from then on. I decided what I was to be from then on. I am a warrior. In the narrative, she alludes to it being a zero mission that would be kept off the record books to avoid complications. She says, when you send people in on suicide missions, you don't tell them to be careful. Metroid Zero mission, she begins with, "This was my home once." And in the game, we have Old Bird, we got Grey Voice, we got Little Orphan Sammy, we have some of the new bosses like Diorm and Imago from the manga working their way into the game, as well as Ridley's space pirate mothership, and a new version of the manga's jumpsuit, which would later become known as the Zero suit. We have the Japanese team merging elements from Retro Studios' design of the suit, and all of those little green lights appear from every game here on out. The Zero mission updates the original game with modern game design, and honestly, those games are revolutionary, the first two, but they haven't aged spectacularly. This time where the first game ends, Samus's ship is now shot down. While she's escaping, she crash lands and is unable to summon her Varia suit. We are introduced for the first time to her then unnamed Zero suit and Paralyzer. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, we get the full Dark Samus, another doppelganger. We have the Luminoth in War. The Zero suit makes its first appearance in 3D.
But you don't get to play as her.
You don't play as it, and maybe you don't.
Really
maybe you don't want to look too closely at that Zero suit.
Really bad.
Or that face in that game. Mostly, yeah. Through the discussions with Retro, Tanabe from Retro Studio says, we came up with the keyword elegant. She's beautifully elegant, but also powerful. He demonstrates what he means by suddenly grabbing his translator by the collar, pantomiming a handgun to the translator's head, and explains that one of the scenarios they ran through with co-creator Sakamoto is how Samus would react to a space pirate taking someone hostage. He says, what we heard from him is that she would not yell, "Hold on." She wouldn't show any emotions at all. She'd just bring up her gun and hit the pirate with a headshot. Tanabe loosens his grip on the surprisingly unfazed translator and brings his fingers in one slow sweep up to his own head with a verbal bajoom, fires Deadeye, leaning back in slow motion, his hands showing us the arc and splatter of the space pirate viscera spilling from the cap of his skull, as the person who witnessed this wrote. She's very calm, he says. very professional in killing. She doesn't show any emotions on the surface, but she's very passionate inside of her. The emotion, again, established in the comic being a link to her suit. This bit I thought was kind of neat. We see in the same kind of hostage situation reflected in the Echoes manga, as well as Samus and Joey, both translated by the Metroid database.
Yes.
Starting with the Space Pirate Commando prologue to the Echoes story. This guy tosses both of his hostages at her. He says if she shoots now, she'll hit the hostages. Samus will either catch them or brush them aside. And the moment she chooses which, I'll slice them all in half. Samus's response to this scenario is to footstool jump off of the old man. And in Samus and Joey, an entirely different manga, starring a young boy which gets wrapped up in Samus's adventures for a little while. She meets Joey as a hostage to a space pirate. Samus refuses negotiating, and when the space pirate goes to shoot the kid, she zooms in and snatches the bullet at point-blank range. Samus makes it clear that she will never spare the life of a space pirate. Like she says in the Origin manga, she has no mercy for the merciless.
Do not let the silly little shonen protagonist fool you. Samus versus Joey rules. It owns. It's my favorite Metroid manga. Go to the Metroid database and read it.
Makes me so happy.
Probably the most badass you'll ever see Samus be.
Just Google search Samus and Joey. You should be able to find it. So, it's pretty easy to find.
She's got like this cape poncho in one story too. It looks so cool.
Crunch!
Metroid Prime Hunter is nothing special there.
Nope.
Except
No,
the requirement for even more LEDs from cosplayers.
Yes.
It's a cool game. There's just
It's got a cool ending.
There's no character.
Good
involvement
CG
there.
at the end.
What's that?
It was good CG at the end.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it's for the DS. Prime 3, Samus continues the never-ending fight against the evils of the universe and ends the threat of Phazon, the Leviathans, Omega Ridley, and Dark Samus to the galaxy. Along the way, she visits what appears to be the original homeworld of the space pirates, or Tragus, and of the Chozo, Elysia. At the end of the game, we see her reflecting and mourning over the innocent bounty hunters that she had to destroy when they became corrupted.
And we feel more for them than we do any of the dudes that show up in Other M ever. No, I don't!
That was such an awkward thing to put in the trailer.
Yeah. Very
Oh
awkward.
my gosh. So we have Samus popping up in Brawl right after Corruption came out. And the Zero Suit and Paralyzer are named for the first time in this game. The Paralyzer has this new transformation ability where it can make a whip. Pikachu is her partner in the game, which sort of might be a callback to Pianchi, her rebellious pet. And I remember when Corruption and Brawl released that there were a lot of people complaining that Zero Suit Samus was like featured at the start of both of the Wii games, as if her identity should only be known to by players who could finish the games. And these people might not have realized that Samus appeared as a woman in the original Super Metroid commercials, so at least for Japanese players, there wasn't a gate to knowing her secret in that last decade plus.
Duh.
Yeah.
Have you been hiding under our gamer rock?
Yeah. The internet's out of
35 years? Come on, guys.
There's no gatekeeping video game secrets anymore.
Besides the trophies too, like in
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Smash 64, you can like when she hits electric shock.
Oh, yeah, you see her, yeah.
Mind blow.
Otacon in the game describes her as Samus is deadly. After the space pirates killed her parents, she was raised by the Chozo and trained in the fighting arts. She's been to places and seen things that you and me can't even begin to imagine.
Insert memes here.
Insert memes. Oh no, Cass, off the battle.
No, stop. Don't insert memes.
Mei Ling says, even without the power suit, all that training she did with the Chozo has made her a super athlete. I don't think a normal human could ever keep up. Just look at her.
Just look at her.
Just look at her. Oh my gosh. You guys,
Tried to make it creepy.
That armor beats
Okay.
the heart of a
No
woman.
more,
make
no
it
more Metal
creepy.
Gear characters in this
It's
panel.
creepy enough.
We have the ambitious campaign mode, Subspace Emissary. It's got not one, but two Ridley boss fights.
2 Ridley boss fights, and they both rule. Our first encounter with Ridley is his normal, organic form. He swoops in and takes a surprise attack against Samus, performing a move that shook little preteen me when I first played this game, and would then become a signature for him throughout the series, referenced in later games and, later
Yeah,
Smash
that
games
became
as
one of his
well.
iconic attacks.
Yeah.
And,
As you can see here, he pushes Samus against the wall, drags her along. They even do it in the very next game that wishes it could be half as iconic as Ridley's appearance in Subspace Emissary. And then for his second attack, he shows back up as Ridley, chasing you down while you're trying to escape a classic Metroid self-destruct sequence on Captain Falcon's ship.
yeah, which also first appeared in comics and not in a game. That was included in the manual for the original F-Zero on Super Nintendo.
And it's hype.
Yeah, it was awesome. The armor in that game is derived from a blink and miss it moment from the ending of Zero mission, right before you get the gravity suit. The first Varia suit that you get in the game has the flat shoulders like the original game, and when you get the legendary Varia suit, the legendary power suit, we get the big shoulders. Sakamoto describes the situation as, for Samus to remain connected with the power suit requires mental energy unfathomable to an ordinary person. In situations like this, when she's under pressure, indeed, even Samus is unable to concentrate her mental energy. However, when Samus completes the trial of the spirit of the mural, she regains her strong force of will and can successfully integrate with the legendary power suit. And we got Metroid Other M coming up next.
Sorry, guys, we gotta talk about it.
No opinions.
Samus gets real talkative now. Well, sort of. Most of what's actually being spoken by Samus is flashbacks to some of the most important moments in her life, but actually she only has about 4 times as many spoken words during the course of the actual current events as are said in the Super Metroid intro. So it's a lot of it is sort of internal monologue, which is sort of reflected in the popular commercial for the game, where she quotes Shakespeare saying, "What's past is prologue." Maybe Samus is a Tempest fan. I think it's not quite what everyone expected, but I really like the monotone voice that she had, which I think is appropriate, again, considering the unconventional colony slaughter and bird alien plus brain in a jar upbringing that she has. Samus has eradicated the space pirates in Super Metroid some time ago that's indeterminate to her because she's been kind of lost focus, and long enough for the bottle ship research program backstory to have transpired. All that happens in between those two games. In the intro, she refers to Zebus incident as tragic, and she's in a bit of a daze, replaying the scene in her mind, flying blindly through the galaxy without a cause. The series reintroduces Commander Adam Malkovich for the third time while he's still with the living. Samus says he's not only a trusted confidant, but also my former superior officer. And we meet our old friend, Anthony Higgs. Remember him? No, you don't.
Of course we do. Who could forget?
We got a couple quotes about Samus's relationship with Adam. She says, "Adam knows my past, and he knows me better than anyone else." She says, "Because I was so young when I lost both of my parents, there's no question that I saw Adam as a father figure. My best friend, the person who understood me best, the closest thing to a father I had. I didn't know what had brought Adam here, but I did know that cooperation was imperative if we were to restore safety." And that's sort of at the core of why Samus is taking his orders, that Samus was working with him to repair their relationship, that she realizes now that she was at fault for upending with this whole backstory of sort of accidentally blaming him for his brother's death. And we learned that that's the reason why, that she left the Galactic Federation Police. And we see Ridley's life cycle for the first time.
Yeah, he starts off as a cute little rabbit, bird thing. He's a Pokemon, yeah, like what he said.
Digimon?
He's like he's a little gremlin.
Yeah, he's a gremlin. Exactly. He starts off as a very innocent-looking animal to make it that much more of a big twist as to what he really grows up to be, even though from the beginning, Samus can sense that there's something up with him. It's the white fur and the big pink eyes. He looks like QB.
Yeah, so the game also, a lot of players find that Samus seems weak in the game. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Nintendo never brought us the manga that describes that she has PTSD from Ridley. And in the intro to the game, they also display a PTSD attack when they're showing the Super Metroid ending cutscene, where we see a debilitated young Samus viewing herself as a vulnerable child, reimagining her senses and mobility, or regaining her senses and mobility when she realized that a loved one is in danger, exactly like in the Ridley scene where she sees herself as a young vulnerable child and regains her senses and mobility when she realizes that a loved one's endangered. So there's sort of an implication there that the Super Metroid ending was also another PTSD attack.
Can I just say something real quick? So, on top of what you just mentioned, the United States, well, North American Other M commercial, they were relying on that to literally tell the story of Samus from an ad on TV. Like, if you guys remember that ad, it's too bad you don't have it in your deck, but it shows like this really brief clip of Samus as a child, like getting attacked, falling backwards, getting attacked by Ridley, and like anyone that saw that was like, what happened there? And they were trying to like explain Samus's backstory in an ad, and that's not even in the game at all.
Yeah, the commercial I think did the
very
best
misplaced.
But they really should have just like included the manga as like a pre-order bonus or something, like even digitally.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have solved so much
Absolutely.
The layman Western Metroid player could only know what happened to Samus in her past.
We were fortunate enough that Metroid Database had even translated it in time for this game to be released.
Right.
Exactly. You had to find it online. You had to look up, character information in
that's the only
crossover
way you would have
fighting
known.
games. There were endings that weren't in America.
Yeah, they could have added it into the game, like as an unlockable. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this whole game's point was to explain Samus's backstory, and yet they never clearly
did.
tell us the most
never
important
did.
piece of her backstory.
Like, they don't care.
They kind of set themselves up for failure.
So it's no wonder that everyone had things to say about that part in Other M.
The other thing I like to point out is that like there's an argument that Samus has killed Ridley before. Like, why is it such a problem that she has to kill him again? Like, why is she having a PTSD attack? And I think Ridley's sort of like Michael Myers from Halloween. If Michael had killed your parents, your entire town, and could breathe fire and fly in outer space, the fact that you killed him before isn't going to make it any less freaky when he shows up in your town again next autumn to fill his stabbing quota.
Well, she killed him, and the planet that she killed him on also exploded.
Yeah.
So she was a little surprised.
We said there'd be no opinions. We lied. It's Other M. We're Metroid fans. We can't stop ourselves.
It's hard not to. We got no new Metroid on the Wii U, but Sam's front and center on Smash Brothers. The bracelets that have been a part of her armorless look since the Game Boy, and the high heels from Other M get buffed, which is a little like cool twist on weaponizing what are her sort of feminine accessories. The Wii U digital edition on Prime Trilogy is like the definitive version, which has like the best load times. We got Metroid Samus Returns coming out by Mercury Steam. Samus's armor is redesigned to look like a bulky, powerful exterminator. This is a remake sort of in the vein of Zero Mission, where the they really make it a playable game for modern audiences and add lots of new, unexpected things. The interaction with the baby at the end is expanded on. You fight with the recovering armored Proteus Ridley, which is cool, but a little shoehorned. It's sort of like, like the Joker doesn't need to feature in every single Batman story.
It's
And-
shoehorned in, but it's a cool boss fight.
Yeah. I like that Metroid 2 was sort of like this little clique of Metroid games that didn't have Ridley, but I mean, this sort of does help bookend the Prime series with the armor shedding in the post credits, and now you know how Ridley knew how to track Samus for that last Metroid. We get an updated Zero suit in the art pre-order bonus, which is really cool. The game version looks a little more like the other M, but they do add another hand insignia on her right hand. Well, I wouldn't be a good cosplayer if I didn't point out the extra decal. Pink Justin Bailey with the green hair makes a comeback after 30 years. Smash
Good on Mercury Steam
Ultimate.
for that.
What's that?
I said good on Mercury Steam. For that.
Yeah, Mercury Steam knows what's up.
Yep.
Smash Ultimate. We got villains, guys.
We have more than one Metroid character.
Yeah.
Yay! It only took like 20 years.
I think it was sort of a shame that they didn't use the Samus Returns Varia in this game, but I guess it might have been too close in development schedules.
I don't know. I think they could
I think it looks great.
still update it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
fans have already done that. You can mod.
Yeah,
Smash
yeah,
Ultimate.
that's true. Yeah, man.
Anyone play Smash Ultimate mods? Anyone? No. Yeah.
Fans do a lot of things. Fans are weird.
Yeah. It's kind of absurd. Well, are we done? Do we have to?
We got a little more. We got Ridley finally in this game. Sakurai, 5 minutes left. Sakurai finally addresses the too big situation with Ridley. He says, "Okay, guys, we're just gonna scale him down. We're gonna make him work, no matter what happens." He was just too popular to ignore after being two bosses in the last game,
Too powerful.
or the two previous games before.
Give us some time for the quiz, man.
Oh, yeah. We can speed run through Dread real fast. Metroid Dread, after 19 years, the first new entry in the main series, the only progression of the linear of the timeline since Fusion, coming from Mercury Steam after they've proven their mettle with Samus Returns. No Ridley during the game, but the plot and gameplay prominently feature living Chozo for the first time. Samus is lured in by her old friends, the X-Parasites, but meets new friends with Ravenbeak and the Emmy Hunter Destroyer horror robots, which allow the game to live up to its name. Late in the game, we learn about Ravenbeak's plan to use the Metroids for his own galactic domination plans, but were unceremoniously and unknowingly thwarted by the Xenocidal Samus. We learn more about the Chozo tribes, with our most familiar Chozo being named the Thoha, and these are the pacifist, empathetic, scientific Chozo. And the Chozo warrior tribe is now being named the Malkin. We learned that Samus is not only imbued with the Thoha DNA but from Grey Voice, but also with the Malkin DNA from Ravenbeak, who cannot control the Metroids because that is a Thoha exclusive ability. I didn't know how his plan to wield an entire army of Samus clones was supposed to work when his Thoha scientists are all dead and he can't handle a single Samus. But there's an implication that Sam's Thoha genes might have played a role in the baby taming way back when. For those of you keeping track, we now have at least 5 DNA donors on Samus.
Thank you for the spoiler warning, by the way.
Oh, yeah. This is a Metroid
They knew what
battle.
they were coming into.
Samus begins to tap into her Metroid side. Samus is no longer limited to chowing down on X anymore. She can straight up vampire claw anyone and anything. And Metroid Prime 4, wait
No
and see.
one knows.
It's happening allegedly.
All right, let's
knows.
hop into it, Ryan.
Okay, we got a quiz.
Quick quiz.
Quick quiz. We got like 3 minutes left.
Run
all
up
right.
when you answer the question
So
right.
you gotta raise your hand real fast. You guys ready for this? All right. I trust you guys will be smart about it. I'm gonna do easy question first. What are the 3 suits that Samus wears in Prime 2 Echoes?
Power suit, dark suit, light suit.
You got it. Come on up. Sweet.
Next one.
All right, next question. What is the name of Adam Malkovich's younger brother? I saw that guy back there. White hat. Yes, come on up. You get a pin. Good job. What are the names of Samus's biological parents?
Virginia Aran and Roger Aran.
Yes, you got it. Come on up for a pin. There you go. Thank you. I feel like you're. Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's see. We got. Let's see. What are the 4 beam weapons in Metroid Prime 1? Yes. You got it. Come on up for a pin. Easy one. Here you go. You're welcome.
Phazon beam in that game too, though.
Oh yeah. Well, I just said 4.
You did just say 4.
I did say 4. I mean, it's not, you don't really get to keep it, so, even though it's a badass. Okay, this is a tougher one. Name all of the hunters in Metroid Prime Hunters. What are all their names? There are 6 of them. Can I, okay,
Yeah.
I'll take 4. I'll take 4. If someone wants to do 4. Someone? Any?
That guy in the blue shirt.
Blue
back
shirt,
there.
blue shirt.
Shirt.
Okay, you got it.
Hey.
There's also Spire and Noxus.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. All right. Here's one. You're welcome. What is the name of the red-bearded, blue-armored bounty hunter from the Nintendo Power Super Metroid comic? No, you already know. You already know the answer. You're not allowed. I need a first name. Starts with an A.
Or wait. Oh, okay, you, sir, in the back, towards the back, with your 2 fingers.
No. Starts with an A. Anyone? No?
You in the green.
No, you're not allowed. You already won. You already got one.
You, sir.
Yes, Armstrong Houston. You can come on up for a pin. Come up for a pin.
You can get a pen.
You can come up for a pin.
Come up for a pin. What?
Get your upgrade.
He doesn't feel like he deserved it. Okay.
We got to play the jingle when you give out the
I know,
upgrades.
I know. It's a jingle.
No. It extends like 10 minutes past its time.
Wrap it up.
Okay. We got 3 more pins left, but I can do one more. What classic footwear item is not in Metroid Dread? Yep, you got it. Come on up for your high jump boots pin.
I think we'll have to end there.
Okay, that's
All
it
right,
then.
guys. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
out.
you, and get more stickers if you want some free stickers. Come
We
on
do
up.
have another Metroid panel later at I think it's at 11:30.
Thank you all
stick
so
around for
much.
that if you're still awake.
Thank you for coming.
That's so
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Visit
for coming.
MetroidDatabase.com.
I'm going to steal one of those stickers for myself.
Take all the stickers you want. They are free. They are for you, 100%.
You should have had somebody make them do the 4 hand signs.
Oh, yeah.
Do the hand signs.
Good
And
one.
what do they correspond?